Let's read the scriptures today.
今天经文是在马太福音5章1到12节。
At Matthew chapter 5, verse 1 to 12.
百德为什么想问一下，你那个签到本在哪？
在 David
你给那个维尼叫维尼或者什么，就是没有签到，今天清楚看根据他的时候给他签。好，把经文读一下啊。耶稣看见许多的人，就上了山，既已坐下，门徒到他跟前来，他就开口教训他们说：虚心的人有福了，因为天国是他们的；哀痛的人有福了，因为他们必得安慰；温柔的人有福了，因为他们必承受地土；饥渴不义的人有福了，因为他们必得饱足；连续人的人有福了，因为他们必蒙连续；清心的人有福了，因为他们必得见神；使人和睦的人有福了，因为他们必称为神的儿子；为义受逼迫的人有福了，因为天国是他们的。人若因我辱骂你们、逼迫你们，各样毁坏你们，你们就有福了，应当欢喜快乐，因为你们在天上的赏赐是大的。人也是这样逼迫他们。好，你做个祷告。
Let's pray.
天父，感谢你，
Our Father, we thank you.
求主带领以下的时间，
Please just guide us the times.
将你话语当中的智慧赐给我们。
And just please give us the wisdom of your words.
因为认识耶和华是智慧的开端。
Because that's the beginning of the wisdom from learning your
主
words.
求你赐给我们一颗敬畏的心。
Please give us the reverent heart.
感谢祷告后耶稣基督的名。
For in Jesus Christ's name.
阿门。好，今天我们算是等于是中国人的过年的主日了。
So today is like the Chinese, we have this Sunday for Chinese New Year.
呀，那其实下个礼拜才是新年。
Actually, next week, that is the Chinese New Year.
教会鼓励新年的时候呢，大家有一些家庭的时候，所以就把教会的活动提前安排。
So church also encourage brother sister, you have a Chinese New Year with your own family. So we just move the day and do today.
那中国的新年讲什么呢？
So in Chinese New Year, what are we going to talk about?
中国人都喜欢，过年的时候写个福字，对不对？
So for Chinese, we like to write this word blessings.
呀，那这个福字是什么意思呢？
So what does the word blessing mean?
呀，福字可能中国有很多的解释哦，
Maybe Chinese have many explanation for this,
也有很多的折腾，对不对？
and just a lot of the things to kind of try to explain.
好好写个福字吧，
So just write this character,
到了门神给倒过来贴。
but they just tape it upside down
为什么？因为福要倒才行。
because we just want the blessing to come to
那
us.
今天我就讲天国的八福，
So today I'll talk about the 8 blessings from the kingdom of heaven
因为内容太长了，
because the contents is so rich.
是我分开2个部分讲。
So I'll just preach in 2 sermons.
今天早上呢讲4个福，
This morning I will talk about the first 4 blessings,
今天晚上讲另外4个福。
and tonight I will preach for the next
所以
4
你要
blessings.
想听到完整的上帝的祝福呢，
If you want to listen to the complete 8 blessings,
所以晚上也得来才行啊，对不
so
对？
please come tonight.
好，我们先来看，今天我们讲4个福是哪4个福呢？
So let's see what's the 4 blessings we'll talk about this morning.
第一是虚心，第二是哀痛，第三是温柔，第四是慕义。
So the first is the poor in spirit, second mourn, third meek, and the fourth hunger for the righteousness.
那这个天国的福气是在什么背景之下讲的？
So what kind of background it is when they talk about the 8 blessings?
其实是耶稣把门徒召集上了山，
That is when Jesus called his disciples to the mountain.
要告诉他们，今后你信了我回天家，在天家你要活什么生命呢？
So just tell them that, so since you believe in me, and when you return to the heavenly kingdom, what kind of life you're going to experience?
今天我们在地上活，美国有美国的宪法，对不对？
So today we live in the United States, and this country has its own constitution.
在美国的钱上也印上一句话 ：“In God we trust”，对不对？
So on the paper money also printed, "In God we trust."
你不翻译中文呢 ？“In God we trust” 什么意思？
在主里我们相信他。
就是我们相信上帝的意思。
That means we believe in God.
这是也有律法，也有法律，也有价值观。
So there's a value, also there's the law.
那么天国的价值观又是什么呢？
So what is the blessing, the value of in the heaven kingdom?
为了这个缘故，耶稣把门徒带上山，跟你讲，今后回到天家就按了这8福。
So for this reason, and Jesus called his disciples to the mountain and said, when you return to the heavenly kingdom, these are the 8 blessings.
好，我们先来看第1福，
Let's say the first blessing.
虚心。
Poor in spirit.
虚心在中国文化上其实是属于道德层面上的事情。
So actually, poor in spirit in Chinese culture, it's just only on the level of the morality.
通常人们讲虚心的时候，比较愿意是让别人看自己看得不错。
So usually when Chinese people would talk about poor in spirit, that means when people look at me and they think I'm pretty good.
每一次我写完书法作品的时候呢，
Every time after I finished the Chinese calligraphy,
从小到大我就得到大人啊、邻舍、孩子啊、同学，哎呀，你写的毛笔字真漂亮。
so since I was a child when I wrote this, and I just always received the praise.
那我会怎么回答呢？
So how would I answer that?
哪里？
And I said, well, not really.
写的还很不好，
Not too good.
没有郭靖写的好，
Not as good as Guo Jing.
我还有差得很远，
I'm still have a long way to go.
只是心里面美滋滋的。
Actually, in my heart, I just feel kind of just flattered.
中国人的谦虚呢、虚心呢，比较在道德层面上去有一个说事儿的机会。
So for Chinese culture, about this poor in spirit, actually still only on the level of morality.
我们很喜欢被人说，哎呀，这个人真谦虚。
We like to let the people say, oh, this person he's so humble.
或者说他可能真是一个虚心的人吧。
Or maybe he's a really humble person.
可能是他虚心到一个地步，你无法想象的。
Maybe he's humble to the point you just cannot imagine.
你再敢夸我3两巴了啊！
If you just continue to just praise me, I just will not let you do it.
什么样的情况都会有。
So any kind of situation may
但
happen.
是不管怎么样呢，它都是一个道德层面的事情。
But no matter what, it's only on the level of
其
morality.
实道德的终极关怀就是被人称赞。
Actually, the ultimate concern for the morality is to be praised by
你
others.
问问你自己，你想不想被人称赞？
Ask yourself, do you like to be praised by
当然
others?
想，对不对？
Of course, yes, right?
以后所有人都称我是一个虚心的人，
And
满足。
in the future, people always call me, I'm just like the person I'm humble one.
大家知道上个月我去了以色列，对不对？
And you all know that last month I went to Israel.
我跟一些拉比级的朋友在吃饭，在聊天，也在开一些会。
And I also just have a meal and also have some meeting with some friends like the level of the rabbi.
其中有一个很有水平的朋友，叫做雅各。
So one of this friend, his name is Jacob.
雅各呢，他就问我一些问题。
So Jacob asked me several questions.
他说：“哎，虚心在你们中国文化怎么解释啊
So he asked me, how do you explain poor in spirit in Chinese culture?？”
那我就跟他讲，我说第一个虚心的人，他必须得有本事才行。
And so I explained, I said first, and this person has to be very capable.
一个什么本事都没有的人，他没有资格讲虚心的。
If a person is not capable, he just cannot say the person is very humble.
对吧？第二呢是不因为有本事而夸口。
And the second is this person not to brag just because he's capable.
第三呢是他有一个高尚的道德标准来承载他的本事和他有的知识。
And the third is at a high morality level, and in order to bear is the knowledge.
那他说：“哎，这刚好是圣经对摩西的称呼啊。”
Then quickly Jacob said, well, this is how the Bible describes about Moses.
我说：“你说的不错。”
And I said, well, you were right.
我说旧约的人们常常也用道德的层面来理解圣经的观念。
And I said, because in the Old Testament, and people usually just use the morality level to understand about it.
他就问我此话怎讲呢？
Then he asked me, so how do you explain it?
我说因为新约你们读不到，只读旧约。
And I said, because you did not read the New Testament, you only read the Old Testament.
他说哦，新约什么地方讲的摩西呢？
And he said, oh, really? So where does it say about Moses in New Testament?
我说朋友啊，你可千万要读希伯来书啊！
And I said, friend, you should read the book of Hebrews.
整本希伯来书就用了一个比较级来贯穿整本书的精华。
And I told him the book of Hebrews actually just used a comparison way to explain it.
其实希伯来书就在讲一句话，说摩西耶稣比摩西更精彩。
So actually, the whole book of Hebrews is telling us that actually Jesus Christ and his it's much more better than the life and it's way more far beyond Moses.
他跟我讲，今天晚上我就要回去读希伯来书。
And he said, okay, tonight I'll go back home to read the book of Moses,
他说你先
the
讲讲，
Hebrews.
你先跟我讲讲耶稣是怎么看、怎么讲虚心呢？
So he said, just explain to me how Jesus explained about poor in spirit.
我说耶稣讲虚心呢，
When Jesus talked about poor in spirit,
他不是像我们中文虚心是一个词儿，他是把分开来讲这个字。
actually, Jesus just separated this in like 2 words.
这个虚字是个形容词，在原文的意思指的是贫穷的意思。
So actually, poor is an adjective. Poor.
甚至贫穷到一个地步，需要仰仗别人的供养、养生的地步，指的这个意思。
And also means the poor to the point the person needs to rely on other people to supply for his living.
那么虚心的心字就更加有意思了。
And this word spirit and has even more interesting.
其实它并不是我们平常所习惯的这个 heart， 这个心不是这个意思，
So it is not described about the heart,
而是心灵的灵字。
but it's talking about spirit.
所以这样讲的话，这句话就很有意思了。
So then this one, when we explain it, it's very interesting.
所以这节经文其实可以翻译成邻里贫穷的人有福了。
Therefore, this scripture can explain us the blessed or the poor in spirit.
这讲到这儿好像又有点矛盾，会不会啊？
So does it seem like awkward?
邻里丰富一些不更好吗？
Isn't it better that our spirit is more, it's
我们
rich?
去到邻里边接触一些什么算个命啊，搞个偶像啊，不也挺好的吗？
Isn't that as good to just have it like go to the fortune teller or do something like this?
什么玩什么星座、处女座、射手座，那不是也很好吗？人马座不都挺有意思的吗？
Or is it even more interesting to just get to know those things like a horoscope?
要上网去搞那些奇里古怪的图画呀，跟魔鬼撒旦很像的东西，挺好玩的也是。
Or isn't that more interesting? Just go online to search all those kind of things that like very the strange things.
要去佛里啊、庙里啊拜完了以后，拿个什么开了光的东西拿回家，挺
Or
好
go
玩的。
to like the Buddha, the temple. Isn't that more interesting?
其实这是我们今天这个世界的境界，不要以为跟你很远了。
So brother, sister, don't think it is far from you. That's far in this
我可
world.
以跟大家讲一个这样的话：
Let me tell you this.
属灵的世界每时每处都在关注着我们每一个人。
The spiritual world, every moment, they're just observing us.
我前段时间我去了趟加州，
Not too long ago, I went to California.
有一个朋友呢，他前段时间浑身都上下都不对劲，
There's a friend, just the whole time, his whole body, I just feel uncomfortable.
那我就为他祷告了，
And I pray for him.
最后找到什么原因？
You know what was the reason I found?
小的时候，他妈妈在国内的时候把他过继给观音，
When he was a child in China, and his mother just let him be adopted by Buddha, 观音。
观音部的。那么他们就有一个小的东西，就一直放在身上。
So they have a little things and putting his clothes.
我就跟他谈话的时候谈，哎，这些属灵的东西、邪灵的东西就在身上。
So when I was talking to him, and those kind of evil things just like
每次睡觉的时候，
with him.
他都把东西放在枕头底下。
And every night when he sleep, he put this thing underneath his pillow.
没事儿，平常也就算了。
In the ordinary day, then it's okay.
他会在你关键的时候出来骚扰你、控制你、捆绑你，甚至最后吞噬你。
So at a critical moment, and these evil things will kind of disturb you and even devour you.
我说你必须做一个洁净的工作，
So I told him, I said, you have to do the work
你要
to
把
purify
你家里
yourself.
边所有当年这些拜过偶像的这些灵里边的邪灵全部清理干净。
And I said, you have to clean up everything with these evil things.
我说你把它交出来给牧师。
Just give it to me.
像这样的工作，我服侍当牧师，全世界服侍了25年，
With this kind of work
多而
to
又
cast
多
evil
的发生这
for
样的
the
事情。
past 20-some years, I have done a lot.
门徒当时在耶稣面前也要处理这个问题。
So during the time, the disciples in front of Jesus, they need to do the same thing.
耶稣把门徒带上山去了，
So Jesus just brought the disciples to the mountain.
如同我们今天来到教会里，来到主日崇拜，对不对？
Just like us, today on Sunday worship, we come to the church.
如果我们不带着一个倒空的心， 贫穷的心，怎么领受上帝的道呢？
If we do not come to the church with the heart, just empty our heart and have the poor in spirit.
所以耶稣说，邻里贫穷的有福。
And therefore Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit.
我们只有打空了自己，让神的爱、神的灵充满我们，才能常在天国呀。
Only when we empty our heart and allow Jesus Christ to fulfill our heart, that we're able to bear the kingdom of the heaven.
所以邻里贫穷的人有福了，因为天国是他们。
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
请问这其中包括你吗？
Does that include you?
不要那么快点头啊！
Don't quickly nod your head.
看我们心中是不是还有什么偶像没有打空的？
Just kind of review your heart. Is there anything you did not empty it?
我们看第二个福，
That's the second blessing.
叫做哀痛。
More.
哀痛什么意思呢？
What does more mean?
就是哀痛这个字，在中文来讲是个古字儿，现在人都不怎么用这个字。
Actually, this word is a very old word. Nowadays, we don't use it.
哀痛这个痛字在甲骨文甚至都出现过这个字。
So this word, even in the article, just appear.
作为一个句子的记载，最早出现在《论语》上。
The earliest time recorded is in an Analects of
论
Confucius.
语说：“颜回死，子哭之痛。”
And it says, after the person Yan Hui died, and then Confucius just cried to his very sorrow.
弟子颜回死了，孔子极度的悲伤落泪。
And that was the disciple Yan Hui died, and then Confucius is in very, very deep sorrow and shed
我
tears.
们知道颜回是孔子非常喜爱的弟子啊。
And Yan Hui, he is Confucius is a preference student.
如果你回去看《论语》，你会发现，就是孔子对他的弟子，不是每个都会这样痛苦的。颜回这样。
If you read the Analects of Confucius, you will see Yan Hui is the one who's a preference one, but
所以
not all the
哀
students.
痛这个痛字，特别是痛字，表达人生当中悲伤到极点的光景。
So more this word means you just sorrow to the very deep, deep point.
这可能又觉得奇怪，会不会啊？
So you might think very strange, right?
悲伤不就寻安慰去嘛？
So if we have a sorrow, we just look for the comfort.
去唱唱卡拉 OK，
How about let's go to karaoke?
去跳个舞怎么样？
Maybe just go dancing.
去找朋友聊个天如
Or
何？
find friends to chat.
去吃饭，
Maybe go to the meal.
去谈个恋爱嘛？
Maybe just dating.
再不行去旅游嘛？
And or just go traveling.
反正做什么都行啊，对不对？
Just whatever we can do.
如果我们在世上还能找到什么安慰来满足我们人生的最大悲痛的话呢？
If in this world we can find any comfort to just fulfill our deepest sorrow,
就说明我们还没有经历到什么是人生的终极是哀痛。
that means we have not experienced the extreme mourn in this world.
我们要思想什么是人生的终极哀痛。
So we need to think about what is the extreme that sorrow.
除了死亡还能是什么呢？
Other than death, what else?
死亡吞噬了人生所有的意义，
Death devoured the meaning of the life,
对不对？
right?
你人生做很多的丰功伟绩。
So in the world, you have a lot of achievement.
中国人最威风的秦皇汉武又怎么样？
So just like Chinese, the famous about the Qing dynasty or Han dynasty,
康熙、乾隆的文治武功又如何呢？
or those emperor Kangxi, Qianlong, and what about it?
民国还是共产党，出路又在何方呢？
Or the communists or Kuomintang, what about it?
欧美的民主、自由、人权的结构崩溃，也好像迫在眉睫。
And also the corruption of the Europe and the United States, those democracy and the human rights.
其实坦率讲，人类历史的所有的真相都是揭示死亡的哀痛。
Actually, the reality of human history is revealing the sorrow of death.
人类这几千年来都不断的寻找各样的出路。
The past 1,000 years, and people are finding the outlet.
在古希腊的人觉得哲学很厉害。
The ancient Greek people think that philosophy is great.
苏格拉底为了思想，他宁愿选择去死。
And for Socrates, and he just chose to die.
那后来整个科学主义的精神，以至于为了科学，人们宁可被烧死。
And for the science, and people are willing to just be burned.
为了真理要献身，要去奋斗，要去搞革命，也大有人在。
And also just for the truth, that people are willing to have a revolution.
走到今天，世界走得怎么样？
And so up to today, and what about it?
谎言一大批。
a lot of just the
但
lives.
是人生真有人走出来的希望没有的。
Is there any hope just walk just by the human being?
坦率讲，死亡的哀痛最大的就是绝望了。
Actually, the deepest sorrow of the death, that is the hopelessness.
呀，耶稣怎么讲？
So how did Jesus say?
耶稣说：“当你感到啊，
So just say, only when you feel,
当你感到心里面这种哀痛到极点的时候，你有福了。
only when you have a deep sorrow, you are blessed.
你知道为什么？
Do you know why?
因为只有耶稣基督的安慰是真实的。
Because only Jesus' comfort is real.
换句话讲，你只有对这个世界彻底的绝望，你才能去领受主的安慰。
In other words, only when you're totally disappointed about everything in this world, you're able to receive God's comfort.
安慰这个词非常有意思。
The word comfort is very interesting.
那希腊文呢的发音叫做 parakaleo。
In Greek, it's a parakaleo.
帕拉是什么意思呢？
What does para
它
mean?
其实是一个介词的意思，在旁边的意思。
And that means that by the side.
那 kaleo 呢就是说话。
Kaleo means talking.
上帝呼召人那个 I call you 就是希腊文就是 kaleo。
And when God called people, the calling means kaleo.
如果你用画画的方法去表达这一段经文，
If you express the scripture, use the drawing.
就是主在我们的耳边轻轻的、细语的在跟我们说话。
And that is God just talking to us very lightly.
这是安慰，
That's the comfort.
而且是最大的安慰，对不
And
对？
that's the greatest comfort.
好，我们看第三幅，
Let's see the third lesson.
温柔。
Meek.
温柔的人有福了，因为他们必承受地土。
Blessed are the meek, for they will be inherit the earth.
那请问，温柔与承受地土又有什么关系呢？
So what's the relationship between meek and inherit the earth?
按你想象，温柔是什么？
So by your thinking, what is meek?
如果让郭靖做一个温柔的样子和表情，你会怎么做？
What if let our sister to have a gesture to show the meek? How would you do it?
会不会这样子？
Would it be like this?
慧杰真的发号施令。
Maybe our brother give command and the sister just have this.
通常我们理解温柔，觉得温柔仿佛是软弱的意思。
So usually we explain the meek, we thought it's we are weak.
但是圣经中的温柔绝对不是，
But in the Bible, it is not tender.
而是坚持、持守的意思。
But that means persist and not to give up.
特别是表达我无论什么光景，我都不放弃这个意思。
Especially express no matter what kind of situation, I will not give up.
我不跟你打，但是我就一直不放弃。
I just do not fight with you, but I just don't give up.
像那种非暴力的那种抗争，也是温柔的一种表现方式，你知道吗？
And you know to resist without any violence, and that means meek.
就是他们静坐在那里不说话，这也是温柔，从这温柔观点中来的。
Just like when people silent just sitting there, and it's also come from me.
如果大家对旧约人物熟悉的话呢，想想以撒是什么人物啊？
If you're familiar with the people in the Old Testament, think about Isaac.
以撒是3次让出水井的位置。
So for Isaac, 3 times he just yielded the location of the wells.
那就是不离开上帝给他的应许之地，他不离开。
But he just did not leave the promised land.
你说这个解释你的，那我走吧。
So you said this well is yours? Okay, then I leave.
我再打第2口井。
Then I'll just pick another well.
结果那些人原来这个井还是他的，
And those people, they said, that's
我
mine.
再往后退，
So Isaac just yielded.
退避3次，对不对？
He yielded 3 times,
但是我不放弃，
but he didn't give up.
我一直停留在应许之地，我就是不走。
So he just stayed at a promised land and not to leave there.
那旧约中有一个人物约伯，大家都记得吗？
Do you remember a person in the Old Testament, Job?
约伯呢是在当时的人当中是一个完美的人。
So in the people during the time and in their eyes, Job is the perfect person.
甚至这个人，圣经说他是没有什么罪的。
And the Bible even says he has no sins.
撒旦就不答应了。
Satan would not agree.
魔鬼一看好啊，你说你完美，我现在给你来整点事儿出来。
So Satan said, okay, people say you're perfect, then I'll just do something, I just go on you.
圣经记载，撒旦跑到上帝的面前去控告这个约伯，怎么样讲呢？
So Satan just come to the Lord and then just blame on the Job.
他说：“你事事拿走他所有的祝福，看他还对你忠心吗？”
So Satan told God that if you just take away all the blessings from him, look at him, he will still faithful to you.
圣经唯一的一个例子是上帝对人有信心，奇怪。
And that's the only example in this Bible. God has the faith and confidence about a
耶
person.
和华说：“我相信我的仆人。”
And God said, I believe about my servant.
结果上帝把约伯所有的祝福、儿女、财富都拿走，
So God just removed all the wealth and the blessings from Job.
他仍然自始至终不离弃赐祝福的神。
But Job still not leaving the Lord, the one who gave him the blessings.
我们听懂这句话了？
Do you understand it?
我们有的时候是要祝福，不要赐祝福的神。对不对
Sometimes we want to have the blessings, but we don't want our God.
主啊，你要是赐给我100万家财，我就怎么样，不会这样子。
God, if you give me like $1 million, then I will do so and so.
钱到手了，把神忘了。
And when the money comes, and then you just forgot about
我
God.
们人真的有的时候是一个忘恩负义的族类啊。
And a lot of times, the human beings like us, we just forgot it.
好，约伯讲了，我们讲讲约拿好不好？
And then let's talk about Jonah.
约拿也是一样，他虽然面对上帝的使命，他选择逃往哈斯。
So Jonah, even though he faced God's mission, but he just escaped and went to Paris.
我这次去以色列，就专门去当年，约拿逃跑从约帕港，离开的那个地方。
And this time when I went to Israel, I particularly went to the port of Joppa, the place that Jonah escaped from.
上帝说你要把福音传给尼尼微的人啊。
So God told Jonah, you have to share gospel to the people at Nineveh.
约拿心想奇怪了，福音祝福不是给我们以色列人的吗？
So Jonah just thought, how come the gospel is supposed to belong to us, Israel?
你怎么糊里糊涂就把这个祝福给了外邦人呢？
But how can you give the gospel to the Gentiles?
呀，这个旧约故事大家不熟悉，要专心听才行。
If you're not familiar with the Old Testament story, please pay attention, listen.
不要玩手机，也不要讲话才能听。
Please don't talk, don't play your cell phone.
要不然听不懂的话，来得到就可惜了。
Otherwise, you don't understand what I'm preaching about,
因
and
为
it's a
约拿是一个不常常讲的人物，
Jonah is the person we don't just preach frequently.
他选择不听上帝的话，
He chose not to listen to God,
但他却始终不离不弃赐下使命的上帝。
but at the end, he just did not leave God, who's the one gave him the mission.
船行在大海当中，
And when the boat is sailing in the ocean,
突然起了风浪，
all of a sudden there's a big wind.
他知道这是耶和华因他的缘故起风浪。
Jonah knew it's from God.
哎，主啊，就把我丢到大海里去吧，
Lord, just throw me into the ocean,
你不要影响这一船的人。
and just don't just affect the people on the boat.
当然，神就把人从大鱼口中吐到岸上。
Of course, finally, God just let Jonah let the fish spit him out.
他在鱼腹里面向上帝祷告。
And Jonah just prayed in the tummy of the fish.
大卫也同样是这样的人物，
So same as David, he's the same kind of person.
他因为奸淫罪和杀人罪得罪了上帝。
And because he did a morality behavior and killing,
约
and
拿
he sinned to God.
先知去到他的面前，
So the prophet Jonah just went to him.
他说：“刀剑今后必不离你的家。
So the prophet told him, from now on, the sword and those kind of fighting will not leave your house.
大卫说：“我宁肯落在耶和华的手中，
And David said, I would rather in God's hands.
我不落在人的手中。
I don't want to be in people's hands. ”
让神取走他儿子的命，
And God took away his son's life.
他就起床梳洗，
Then he got up and he just cleaned himself.
停止他的悲痛。
And he stopped the mourning.
所以温柔的什么意思呢？
So what does meek mean?
温柔的属灵含义就是永远对上帝 say yes，对撒旦 say no。
So the spiritual meaning of meek is always say yes to God and say no to Satan.
所以现在明白了，
So now you understand.
温柔与否直接关系到神的土地由谁来继承啊？
So whether you're meek or not, it directly related to who will inherit the land of God.
这也是我们每一位神儿女要问的，对不对？
This is for every God's children we should ask.
请问我是那一位神所赐的地图的人吗？
Am I the one that God will just give me his land?
以色列人在今天的巴勒斯坦，对不对？
So nowadays, the Israelites are at Palestine.
我这里去感受很深，与当地周边的穆斯林，
And this time, I just had a very deep feeling, and with the people over there, and also the Muslim,
特别是他们彼此相连的巴勒斯坦人，
and especially those people, the Palestinians.
也是非常温柔的得地为业。
And they are very just that they're meek and they receive this land from God.
我们对儿女其实也是如此，对不对？
So for us, to our children, it's the same.
我们也必须有温柔的力量，
We should have the strength of meek.
我们必须在上帝里边去保守我们自己儿女的心思意念。
And we should just guard our children's heart in front of Jesus Christ.
这几十年来，中国人都是独生子女啊，
So for the past like the decades, we just have like just one single child in family.
可能绝大多数的父母都变成了儿女控了，有没有？儿女控，大叔控，小鲜肉控，懂吗？控就是被他们所控制的控。
Okay, the parent is like controlled by their child.
有些是女儿控，有些是儿子控。
Some were like controlled by the daughter, or some controlled by the son.
儿女控是一个 proper noun。
It's a 专有名词。
daughter control or son control 就控，这么来翻译控 control 的意思。我们每个人可能都是某一种控啊。
Each one of us, we may have like control something.
大家要记住这样一个问题哦。
So let's remember this.
不要以为儿女控是对儿女的爱，不是爱啊。
Don't think that controlled by the kids, that's your love to your children.
我们的儿女控可能恰恰是害了儿女的。
Or like a daughter control or son control, maybe we just just harm our
我
kids.
盼望每一位家长要明白这个真理啊。
I hope every parent you understand this.
我们只能把上帝的爱给孩子，
We can only give God's love to our children.
上帝的爱一定是带着圣经的真理。
God's love for sure will carry God's truth.
或者今天也是做父母去反省和检讨一下自己的生命。
Or today as parents, let's just reflect our life.
过往你可能未必是爱你的儿女，
Maybe in the past, you did not love your children.
你知道儿女控的本质是什么吗？
You know the children control, what is the core meaning?
是害怕，
You have fear.
是 fear 你的儿女。
You fear your
而
children.
这个害怕是从亚当来的。
That's fears from Adam.
亚当当年也不是爱夏娃，
And at the time, Adam, he did not love Eve.
但是怕夏娃。
He was afraid of her.
夏娃就会骑着亚当头上作威作福的。
And then Eve just go above and then just kind of control him.
撒旦来到他们夫妇当中，亚当都不知道去哪了，由夏娃出面去说话。
When Satan came to them, and where's Adam? And just the Satan talked to Eve.
好，我们知道儿女不是我们的产业，是耶和华的产业，
And we
上帝
know
的产业。
the children and is the assets belong to God,
所以我
not
们
for
必须
to us.
温柔地在儿女面前向上帝说是，向撒旦说不。
So in front of our children, we have to be meek and just say yes to God, say no to Satan.
好，最后一幅木易。
Okay, now the last blessings, that the hunger and thirst for righteousness.
木易就是渴慕上帝的公义嘛。
So that is the longing for God's righteousness.
耶稣在这里说，饥渴慕义的人有福了，因为他们必得饱足。
So here Jesus said, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled.
其实原文是没有“慕”这个字，
Actually, in the original text, and there's no this word, thirst,
但是却有
hunger.
饥，有渴。
It has hunger and thirst.
所以直接翻译的话呢，就是饥慕渴慕。
So if you just translate directly, that is a hunger and a thirst
如
for
果是
righteousness.
讲的通俗一点的，
So if you say it in common,
就是要以神的义为我们的食物。
that is to have a God's righteousness as our food.
你饿了就吃神的义嘛，
If you're hungry, just eat God's
你
righteousness.
渴了就去喝神的义
If
嘛。
you're thirsty, just drink God's
神
righteousness.
就负责任去用公义来喂养，
Then God will just be responsible to feed us,
并且负责任的喂饱我们。
be responsible to let us just being fed
所
up.
谓义，公义就是神眼中看为对的事情。
So righteousness means to do the right thing in front of God's eyes.
就怎么知道什么是对的，什么是义呢？
How do we know what is right, what is righteous?
那当然标准就是圣经了。
The Bible, the standard is Bible.
就是为什么说神的话语是我们生命的粮食呢？
And that is why we say God's word is our daily bread.
亲爱的弟兄姐妹，你是不是每天都在吃神的话语呢？
So, brother, sister, do you eat God's words every day?
请问你真的认为上帝的话语是你每天的灵粮吗？
Do you think God's words is your daily bread?
请问你是否以神的话语为饥渴呢？
So, are you have hunger and thirst for God's words?
其实你自己也知道，
Actually, you know it.
如果你一天不读圣经呢，
If you do not read the Bible for one day,
上帝就知道了；
God knows.
2天不读圣经呢，
What about 2 days?
自己就知道了；
Yourself, you know.
3天不读圣经呢，
If you do not read the Bible 3
你的
days,
家人都知道了；
your family knows.
4天不读圣经呢，
If you do not read the Bible for 4 days,
牧师就知道了。
pastor knows.
我一眼看你有4天以上没读圣经，一眼就看出来。
If I look at you, I just know if you how many days that if you did not read the Bible.
教会弟兄姐妹知道，
And also, brother, sister in the church will know.
如果你5天不读圣经呢，
If you do not read the Bible for 5 days,
我告诉你，所有人都知道。
let me tell you, everyone will know.
你出门你都不敢理直气壮的昂首挺胸的走路，你都是弱弱的弯弯的腰往前走。
If you just leave your house and you just cannot just straighten your back and just let it go.
好，天国的福气今天讲，上午讲了一半啊，
So we just preach half of the blessings from the kingdom of the heaven.
只讲了4福。
We only talk about 4 blessings.
晚上的新春西福讲另外4福。
And tonight, the Chinese Spring Festival, we will preach the next 4 blessings.
我们一起祷告。
Let's pray.
天父感谢你，
Heavenly Father, we thank
我们
you.
将一些荣耀颂赞的归给你。
May all the glory just go to you.
主求你今天在我们当中掌权，
Please have a sovereignty in our life,
让我们因你的话语成为智慧的孩子。
so that we just become the child with of wisdom from your words.
我们因为你话语的缘故，我们成为蒙恩纳福的儿女。
And because of your words, and we just become the children that were with your blessings.
求主帮助我们。
Please help us.
感谢祷告奉耶稣基督的名，
We pray in Jesus Christ's name.
阿门。
Amen.